Dividing fractions is what we're going to look at in this video. It's split into 4 parts. We're going to start off by looking at dividing 2 fractions together. Then we're going to move on to looking at dividing a whole number by a fraction. And then we're going to look at how do you deal with harder, like bigger numbers like this? Can we cancel down to help ourselves out? And then finally, we're going to look at examples where we're dividing with mixed fractions. So the way my videos work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and have a go at the example on the right, which is you do. So we're going to start off by looking at simple questions. Now, in order to solve this, we are dividing 2 fractions. We can use a little rule called KCF, and that means we're going to keep this one the same. So that's 1 over 2. The C means we're going to change the sign to a times, and the F means we're going to flip the last one so it becomes upside down. And that is it now. All you do is cross multiply. So 1 times 3, that gives me 3. And then 2 times 1, that gives me 2. Now the question does say give the answer in its simplest form. Now this can't be simplified, so we're going to leave it at that. So press pause and I've got the example on the right. So hopefully you've had a go at this. So that's KCF, which means the K means we keep this the same. The C means we flip the sign, change the sign, sorry. And the F means we flip the final fraction. So if I flip that, that becomes 3 over 2. Now we'll just cross multiply. So 1 times 3, that gives me 3. And then I do 5 times 2, and that gives me 10. Now can this be simplified? No. So that's our answer there. Now moving on, we are looking at how to deal with whole numbers. Now with whole numbers, all you need to do is you can write the 4 as 4 over 1. Okay, now it's just become a fraction. So we stick to the same rules, KCF, keep the first one the same. So that's 4 over 1. Change the sign and flip the last one. And now you just cross multiply. So 4 times 5 is 20. And at the bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. Can we simplify this? Yes. We can divide the top and bottom by 2. So that would just become 10 over 1. We can just write that as 10. Okay, so again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. So the first thing I'll do is write this as a fraction. Then I will write my KCF. So keep the first one the same. Change the sign and flip the last one. And that is just 12 times 3, which is 36 over 1. We can just write that as 36. That's our answer there. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now moving on, we are looking at harder numbers. So now with this one, again, you will still use KCF, but there'll be one extra thing we can do to make life easier. So we have 3 over 4. Change the sign and flip this. Okay, now with this one, you can do 3 times 6 and 4 times 15, but 4 times 15 isn't something you want to do. So instead, what you can do is you can cancel down. So you can cancel any top number with any bottom number. Okay, now 6 and 15, I can't really cancel them down. However, 6 and 4 can be cancelled down. They both go in the 2 times table. So if I divide this by 2, that becomes a 3. And if I divide this by 2, that becomes a 2. That's now simplified. Now, what else can I simplify? Well, I can simplify this 3 and 15, or I can do this 3 and 15. It doesn't matter which ones you do. So you pick any top number, and you look at the bottom, and you're like, can I simplify? So I'm going to pick this one, and this. It doesn't matter which one you pick, you get the same answer. So if I divide this by 3, I get 1. If I divide this by 3, I'll get 5. And that is all simplified now. So if I now cross multiply, so the top is going to become 1 times 3, which is 3, and the bottom is 5 times 2, which is 10, and that's the simplest form. So I've done 1 times 3 there, and 2 times 5. So the only extra step here is that we can cancel down to make our lives easier. You will still get the same answer if you multiplied across, but it just makes your life easier if you simplify. So again, same thing here, KCF, so keep the first one the same. So 7 over 6, change the sign, flip the last one. Immediately I can see 6 and 18. They both go in the 6 times table, so that becomes 1 and 3. I can divide them both by 6. Now what else can I simplify? So we have the 7 and 40, that can't be simplified. And then we have the 1 and 40 there. So there's nothing else that I can simplify here. So I can just multiply that across. So 7 times 3 is 21. And that's over 40. And hopefully you can see that was a lot easier than doing 7 times 18 or 6 times 40. Okay, if you simplify, it just makes your life easier. So here's some practice questions you have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And then finally, we're going to look at mixed fractions. So now with mixed fractions, you want to write them as improper fractions first. So the way you do that is, so here we can have this as 6 over 1. Just remember that. Anytime you see a whole number, you can write it as a fraction. So we can write this as, we can do 3 times 2, which is 6, and add the 2 at the top, which gives me 8 over 3. Okay, so what I've done there is I've done 3 times 2. That's where I got the 6 from. And then you add this 2 on. That gives you the 8 at the top. Okay, the number at the bottom is always going to be the same. It's going to be that number there. That's where that 3 comes from. And hopefully it's clear where the 8 comes from. So to get the 8, I had to do 2 times 3, and then add the 2 at the top. So now, if I use KCF, we have 6 divided by 1, and now that's a fraction there. And if I use KCF, that now becomes 6 over 1 times 3 over 8. Can that be simplified? Yes, it can. I can just simplify that straight away. That becomes a 3. I can divide them both by 2. That becomes a 4. Again, you don't have to simplify right here, but it just makes your life easier. And the answer then becomes 9 over 4. Now, it does say give your answer as a mixed fraction in its simplest form. So because this is an improper fraction, we can turn this into a mixed fraction. So we can write down the bus stop method. So 2 leaves me the remainder of 1. So we have 4. The denominator always stays the same. Okay, so that's where the 4 came from. The 4 goes down there. And with the 2 goes out here, and the remainder goes up there. Okay, so my final answer is 2 1/4. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and I'll go at the example on the right. So the first thing I would do is turn this into an improper fraction. So 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. Okay, so that's now that. So if I rewrite this, and now you know what to do, you just do KCF. So that's 8 over 5 times 3 over 1, and that's 8, 16, 24. Divide that by 5. Now the question does say leave your answer as a mixed fraction in its simplest form. So bus stop method it is. Now that goes into there 4 times. It leaves me the remainder of 4. So my answer, the denominator stays the same, a 4 here and a 4 here. So my answer is that there. Okay. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And if you would like more practice on this, I've got a full worksheet over on my website, linked in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, I've got loads of other content like this on my channel. Do check it out. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.